Hi guys, welcome back. I'm Nick Reeves and this is my workshop. Now this video is part 7 of the Cambrian Funfighter ME109 build. I know you got confused there with the Spitfire that I'm doing as well. I must apologise, it's been a long time coming to get another update on this. Life and other projects have got in the way, and the thing called work as well. But I think where I left it last time was I was about to apply the second opposite side sheeting on the rear of the fuselage. It's currently being stuck on along this edge just now. There's a little bit of a gap. The fuselage line where the sheeting meets the fuselage side isn't perfectly true, so there's a slight gap. There's also a backing piece, a bolster in there, so structurally I'm not worried about it. What I might do once this glue's dried, just rub some more white glue into the gap just to fill the gap a bit. As I said, there is a backing piece of bolster in there along the join line, so I'm not too worried about that. Then once that's dry, I'll be able to roll it over, glue it, pin it, and that'll be the rear sheeting done, apart from trimming it. Now, the other thing, which I think in one of the previous videos I mentioned, is that on the wings, I haven't really done much on the wings at all since the last videos. I've just, this wing, this is the, I keep on going to call this is the left wing, it's the wing with the damage. I've taken some of the roughness off the leading and trailing edges, sanding. This particular wing is going to need a fair bit of filler to get it nice, so I'm going to give it a coat of filler shortly, leave it overnight to dry. But one of the things I mentioned was that as per plan, these airplanes use a single standard servo in the centre of the wing. I'm not doing that, I'm trying something else. Now, I have got some slim wing servos here. I'll put a link at the bottom to these servos. They are a 239 Metal Gear extra slim wing servo, so you can see the size of them there, but they're also really thin. So the plan is to have these servos, see if I can come a bit closer to show you, have these servos mounted in here somewhere, but mounted from the underside so that the output arm comes through the top skin and operates the aileron on the top surface. Now the reason for that is, obviously if you use a single servo in the middle, you've got push rods coming to torque rods which go up to aileron, so you've got nothing on the bottom side at all. If you're using two aileron servos, normally you'd have the outputs on the bottom so you can't see them as easily. But these are belly land models, so the first thing that's going to hit the ground isn't the bottom of the model, it's the control horns and the push rods and the servo output arms. Easily going to strip something off. So the way around that is to have it all on top. But I don't want to have a big hatch or anything like that on top to drop the servos into. So I'm going to have the hatch on the bottom and just have literally the output arm with the servo sticking up out of the top surface of the wing. So the next stage is going to be getting the plan out, working out where the ailerons are, and then having a play around with just having the servo sitting. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to interrupt. This bit thing here, I'll put a link up here to what this is, but it's kind of blocking your view just now. I've got this wing sitting here. The next stage is going to be working out where the servo's got to sit, but obviously instead of working on the top surface, we'll be working on the bottom surface, doing all the drawing and measuring on there. Once we're happy where it's going, duplicate everything across the other wing panel so they match, and then we're going to start cutting the bottom sheeting away and start cutting the foam out. Now I'm not exactly sure what's going to be the best method yet for cutting it out, but what I'll probably do is use some sort of heat, probably either a soldering iron with a piece of bent wire in the end, bent to 90 degrees, so we get nice clean cuts, which is probably going to be my preferred way of doing it, I think. You can then use it like a hot knife just to cut things out. But I don't want to disturb the skin on the top surface of the wing, so I'm going to have to be very careful with what I do there. Then what I'm going to do is again, I don't know if you'll be able to see, these servos have like mounting lugs, 3 of them, so you can screw them that way instead of that way. What I'm proposing is actually drawing up in CAD like a mount frame for this, so it actually sits around the servo out of wood, getting it laser cut, and I can glue that frame into the wing and then drop the servo into it and screw it to it. I haven't actually, let's do it just now while I think about that. I haven't actually measured the depth, the mounting depth, but it's going to be about 1, 2, 3, 4 mil. So I've got 4 mil from the back face of the lug to the face of the servo. So what I might well do, depending on the thickness of the wing, again I'm thinking out loud just now, is I've got plenty of thickness. Yeah, so what I might well do for ease is have the frame that I'm talking about cut out of 3 mil birch ply, 2 layers of it to give me 6 mil thickness, which will give me a bit of clearance between the top skin of the wing and the servo, but also give me plenty of depth to put screws into, so the screws don't puncture through the surface of the wing. This is my plan, whether or not it's going to happen. So then once I've got the servo locations worked out, got the welds cut out, almost to the point of being able to install the servos, I need to then bore a hole up the wing to let the servo wires come out. Again, that's easy enough. Good thick piece of piano wire, heat it up with a blowtorch and just shove it up. I don't know, a piece of 4 mil piano wire will give you at least a 6 mil hole. What I want to do is have the servos in such a place where they're in a position where you've got enough lead out the end. I hate having to faff around with little extension leads. So that's where I am with this wing, this model. So it's just a quick update. I am trying to get things moving. Excuse my phone. Okay, so after the interruption from the phone, back to this. I've got other projects that have got in the way for carrying on with this, but I know that I need to get it done, especially if I want to fly it this year. I have also got the Spitfire, the bigger Funfighter Spitfire, sitting just over there. I'll put a link to the build up here. That needs worked on as well, but I've got this project ongoing, this refurbing this Watt 4. I need to make new elevators for that. Youngmeister, which again I put a link up here till I had the engine running the other day. Need to sort out a throttle linkage on that, and also check out the plumbing. There's something a bit obscure with that. Need to make a new rudder for another model. All these sorts of things. Plus, again, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, hanging up here I've got an Acrowatt. It's got an Evolution GX10 in the front. Flew it the other week, and while flying it just started to sound a bit odd, and immediately I thought, well, it's the exhaust, it's all come loose, it's just running rough. Anyway, got it back down on the deck, had a look at it, it's all tight, apart from the engine mounting screws, the bolts that hold the mount to the firewall, 2 of them gone. Don't know quite how they will come out, so that's got to have its engine stripped out, new bolts put in, Loctited, anti-shake proof washers, everything on the front, and hopefully that'll be good. I'm also trying to organise, I've got a President T180 here. It's my flying club's, one of my flying club's club trainers, so that's got to go away and get refurbed. I'm not doing that, a friend of mine's doing that, but I do need to look at the engine in it. But anyway, that's just what's going on around here. Hopefully now I'll be able to get a bit more progress done on this Funfighter. I've got the sort of, what's the word? I've got the mojo back for doing it. So now I've got the servos, I can crack on and hopefully get a bit more progress. So until the next time, click on my face down here, that'll tell you how to subscribe. There's a little bell, tick that or press it, that'll tell you when there's a new video put up. Give us some feedback, some likes, some thumbs up, comments, it's all appreciated. And until the next time, I'll catch you again soon.